بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحقيقة today the 25th of March 2020 we'll be talking about an organization behavior, management 512, organization behavior and leadership. And this is going to be the first session. Let me start my watch. The first 40 minutes, and the second session is going to be another 40 minutes. We'll be talking about almost the last chapter, chapter 12, the power and its use and abuse in organization. Power. This is just before we start talking about before we start talking about leadership. And please put in mind that the chapter for leadership, we are going to do it from DAF textbook, and therefore this is going to be the last chapter from this text, okay? And before we start, let's just go ahead and take another broad ideas of what have we discussed so far. We discuss the importance of communication, okay? And we said a leader is a good communicator. Good communicator. Okay? Now, this is going to take us to theories of power that we will be discussing this chapter. And we will be discussing different type of power. And then we will go to theories of leadership. And this is very important, okay? And we'll be seeing what type of leaders they are. And then eventually we should go to the theories of change. Delta means change, okay? Theories of change, okay? Or function of change. Now, before we start, it's important to know how do we deal with the future. It's very important to know how are we doing or dealing with the future. This is us, and this is the future. Okay? In dealing with the future, there are two scenarios actually for dealing with the future. Either you let the future derives you or behind you and push you by not properly planning of what you want to be. Okay? You just go, graduate from the school, you find the job, you find whatever you want, and you just let your life go and the future kind of behind you. Or if you are a good leader, you tell yourself again, forecast and hindcast. What type of a future I want to be? Okay? And you do hindcast. You tell yourself, I would like to be this type of a person, and I would like to have this type of a future, okay? And you push your future to the shape that you want. That's you, and you push the future to the shape you want. It's very important انك انت to know what type of future you want. And this will happen. Key thing is what? If you have good vision. Most successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders, they always know what they want exactly, so that they tell themselves, what should I do right now in order to have the desired future in 2020, 2030, 2040, 2050. Bill Gates is one of you futuristics. He had a book, Road to the Future. He wrote it in the 80s, and he tried to prescribe or describe what type of future we have. And he did talk about this. He said the enemies for the whole world in the future is going to be the viruses, not going to be the wars. And that's exactly what's happening right now, what we are witnessing. But it's very, very, very important to know what type of a future and what shape will take, rather than leaving my future behind me and let it push me. I don't care. Yeah, خلاص, I finish and I go through without thinking about it. You should have the ability to know yourself. What are you going to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? This is very important. Right. But this is before we talk about the power. Power is very important because the power is going to lead us to concept of the leadership. How important the power, and there are so many things. By the way, I'm using today the Bluetooth as a promise, and I have two, one here, one there. I hope it will be the voice will be better, and we can get it more effectively. Okay, power. They said if you have money, is power. If you have money, is power. If you have information, is power. How effectively to use the power? It's a fine and delicate line. Is power politics? We'll answer that. Convincing other is power. Selling yourself and ideas and your ideas is power. Confidence is power. Ability to see the future, being futuristic. To see or predict future. is power. In this chapter, we'll study all type of power. It's going to be very interesting chapter. فwe'll go Bismillah, okay, about power. Before we talk about power, we try to talk about influence. Influence, which is a basic organizational process. Definition of influence or power is affecting others in a desired fashion. Affecting others in desired fashion, whether it is successful or not, but affecting others. There are definition of power: capacity to change the behavior or attitudes of other in a desired manner. I have power. عندي القوة إن أثر عليك. Okay, I have power. Okay, it's an attitude. Okay, behavior or attitude of others desire in a desired manner. Okay, tactics for influencing, tactics for exerting or influences are, we have what we call rational persuasion. I convince you. I have a friend, he said, أقنعني أو أقنعك. Okay, convincing. And he is very convincing, very convincing. MashaAllah alayhi, he has the ability, it's a talent. Okay. Rational persuasion using logic and facts to pursue or to persuade others. كيف أقنع الناس. We have what we call this طبعا 3 types 1 2 3 4 5 types اللي هو influence tactics: rational persuasion, inspirational appeals, collaboration, consultation, ingratiation, exchange, personal appeal, coalition building, legitimating, and pressure. We'll go over each one and just try to understand what do they mean by it. Inspirational appeals اللي هو الإلهام أو somebody ملهم. Okay, he get you inspired. اللي هي arousing enthusiasm by appealing to target person values and ideas. He's what? He's targeting your values and ideas. If you have somebody who has similar values and ideas, you turn to be influenced by him. Collaboration, make it easier to agree and request. Okay, to agree to a certain request. Collaboration, let's just collaborate. Okay. Then we have consultation. Consultation is also another influence tactics. And I have worked as a consultant throughout my life through so many private business companies. I serve as a board member in some companies within Saudi Arabia and also international. And I serve in several committees also internationally. As a consultant, you are influencing the person who hire you. He literally, even though he doesn't like it, and I came up some situation like this with the CEOs, with the companies, I told them, look, you are paying me money to tell you this. I know you don't like it, but this is my consultation. I know you don't like it, but you have to, because sometimes if you are very much inside the problem, you cannot see the solution, no matter how close to you. I tell them, look, I'm not going to kid you. I'll give you what is the advice. The consultation is also influencing tactics. I do the same when I serve in the boards. committee boards at national level and at the regional level. Just tell them, I'm sorry, I just tell you what I think, and therefore consultation is influencing tactics. We have ingratiation. And ingratiation is putting people in good mood to like you. You put them in a situation, or you develop kind of mood. You remember, I think we talked about, sometime when you go and try to get something or request from, you said, this is not a good time. He's not in good mood. You try to put a person in a certain mood to what? To influence. This is part of the tactics by either making him close or making friendship or whatever, but this is called ingratiation. Exchange, promising benefit to comply. You do this for me, I do this for you, okay? Exchange, okay, sorry, this is exchange. Personal appeal to feel loyal or a friend before making request. You put in a situation where you are trying to become a friend so that he trusts you, so that you can influence influence the decisions, okay? Coalition building is seeking assistance of others and tell others that you have a support, seeking help from other people, other company, and especially if this company is very big, and you try to show that you have that type of power so that you can influence. This is called coalition. You can influence the decision. Okay, coalition building اللي هو ائتلاف. And then we have legitimating, which is calling attention to formal authority when make a request. I am a director for finance, or director for production, or director for university. Because of that position, I can influence, okay? My decisions are influential. That comes, okay? And then we have pressure, okay, which is seeking compliance by making demand or threat, using the pressure, بالغصب, بالقوة. So this is part of the I am the boss. I want you to do it my way. Thank you very much. I understand what you are saying, but use the pressure. I'm your boss. Just do it. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Regardless whether you are convinced or not, I'm the boss. Please do it this way. This is called pressure. Now, can managers learn to use influence more effectively? Yes, they can. Actually, there is a study that has been made before and after we train manager CEOs to become more influential. And this study is very interesting, shows that this is the curve of influence, but with the training, they get better with the training. This is the x-axis before and after. This is the time, okay? And the y-axis is the frequency of use. So with the training, okay, you can become more influential. In other words, you can teach CEOs, big manager, how to become influential. You can teach them. It is a formal training and a special training that you can do and take. Now we'll talk about the individual power, sources or source and use. The power, as we defined it before, capacity to exert influence in others. We have several types of power. We have something called position power. Actually, two types of power. These are the individual power. Individual power, we have position power and we have personal power. Position that come with your position. You are a refinery director or manager or supervisor, North area, South area, Jubail, Yamba. Whatever position you have comes with it a power. Okay? This is called position power. What type? We have legitimate power that comes with your position. We have the reward power, ability to reward people, comes with your position. And we have coercive power, ability to punish people. I will deduct from this is salary. This is coercive power. And we have information power. You have information that other don't have. Okay. And then we have a personal power, which is rational persuasion, ability to convince you rationally. Okay. We have expert power because I am civil engineer, electrical engineer, computer engineer, software. This is because you are expert in certain area. And we have what we call referent power. What's your referent power? If you are associating with somebody big in the organization, you have like a director of or the manager of those CEOs office, always with them. Those guys have power because they are very close to men decision maker. You always have to see them, word reader. You almost can tell people who are just associated with them, they have what we call referent power. And you try to identify yourself at the society that you are what? You are always belonging to this big guy. And then we have charismatic or charisma. Charisma is something very, 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 very interesting. We are going to define it. It's something like magnet in the person that people just attach to this guy and willingly do whatever they wanted him to do. You don't know why. Because this person is nice, this person, just certain characteristics. It's a gift from God. It is very interesting. This is what we call charismatic power. As a point or as an example, I remember Dr. Abdullah Dabbagh, Allah yadhkara bil khair. He was the CEO of Ma'aden, and he used to be my director of research institute early at my career at KFUPM. This guy is so nice. And we were working, myself and other two colleagues, day and night just to please him, from literally sunrise to sunset. At one time he said, why we are doing that? At the expense of our family. You just don't know why. You just love this guy and you try to please him and work all the time for him. So this is, he has certain characteristic, he has certain magnet that now, would you say that this guy is tough, very, no, just the opposite. He's so nice, so lean, but just something it's inside him that make you just to try to please him. فالcharismatic power, we are going to discuss it more and we are going to just go as we go along. But I found Dr. Abdullah Dabbagh one of the charismatic leaders that I am very proud that I work with him, and I kept relationship even to now. Yani. I will bring him also as a guest speaker one of those days at KFUPM, and we are going to broadcast it. But for these two types, okay, these are the different type of power, okay, about 8 types, okay. One mainly or two categories: personal, opposition power, and personal power. Okay, طيب فالpower as we said ability or capacity to exert influence on other. Position power, influence that comes with the position. Power based on formal position. Legitimate power based on organization hierarchy. Okay, where are you? You are vice president, you are president, you're senior vice president, or you are manager, or you are supervisor. This is wherever your hierarchy is, you have legitimate power based on organization hierarchy accepted. We have a reward power, as we said, capacity to reward people. Okay, and when rewarding people, capacity to satisfy followers' need, and this is very important. And by the way, people in general, you can get them more with reward than the punishment. Very interesting. You can get them more with the reward than the punishment. Okay. Then we have a coercive power, capacity to punish people, and we have information power, the power to access information. There are certain information from your position, you access it, other people cannot do. Having the information is what? Power. Most too important power is the power of money and the power of what? Information. Personal power that comes from individuals, which is personal. This is personal power. Power comes from individual quality and characteristics. The expert power, the power comes from knowledge, skills, ability in certain area, specialty knowledge. As we said, you are expert in certain area. People respect you. You will have power on them when you talk, people listen. Referent power, as we said, power comes from administration and liking by others. Personal identification with leaders. Charisma, as we said, defined as enthusiasm and optimism that contagious. الكاريزما تعدي الواحد. إذا صرت أنت مع if you are with a good leader you become like him. That is contagious. سبحان الله. زي ما قلت لكم زي الماجنت. Okay. Contagious and aura of leadership like الهالة. Okay. He is inside the sphere. Just subhanallah, charisma. As I told you, no, it's just gift from God, or some people have it, some people don't have. They are charismatic, okay? Just like he's in a sphere, and just everything just is would like to attach to that, okay, or come to it, okay. For this, we call it aura of leadership. Charismatic leaders has following characteristics: express a clear vision of the future. He know what type of future he wants. Excite a future. Huh? He pushed type of future. He designed the future he wants, and he can show it. Okay. Excite a crowd by using exciting language. He is good communicator. He الكاريزماتيك هذا he always convincing. عنده حضور جماهيري. People love to listen to him. When he talks, people listen. He's so exciting. He excites people. He has that skill. Okay? هذا الكاريزماتيك. He inspires trust on people. He talk out of his heart, and people trust him because of that. He make people feel good about themselves. Doesn't give himself credit وأنا no, just the other way around. You are, we cannot do it without you. هذا هو charismatic leaders. Okay, he make people feels good about themselves. Okay, you have to be careful whenever you are as a leader in a situation like that. Most likely you will have some people who will try to counter that power, resist, or show muscles in her. Who are you? Especially if people feel jealous if you are so successful. فأنت as a leader you have to know how to deal with that. Okay? How to do that? Counter power, defined as capacity to neutralize other influence attempts. I'm leader. I try to influence people to go this direction, convince them. I made my speech. Some people say, no, this is not, this is. There are two ways of handling with that. Either ignoring, if he is not the person who try to, if he is not in a position, okay, to counter you, or say, okay, thank you, this is good, we'll take a look into that, or you stop him. Look, this is, you know, يعني there are so many nice ways to confront those who try to counter power your authority. Okay, so be careful of these type of people who like to show muscle and deal with it. Sometimes you have to ignore or defend. Now, personality, according to research, personality is very important in leadership style and effects on power. Shows that there are study, okay, research that has been done for American CEOs that 83% believe that they derive their power from their personality. 83%. هذا ايش قالوا؟ The power come from your personality. Very interesting. From CEOs. So they made a study for CEOs at in America, and 83% they said power come from your personality. Okay. Versus supporting board member, 70%. Supporting board. طبعا انت you are there trying to please the board. It's not all 70% they agreed with that. Okay. Supporting senior colleagues, 64%. Supporting senior colleagues. And expert and knowledge you have, because of expert and knowledge, 43% they said, 43% they said that it is the kind of power you have because 43% because of your expert in certain area. And management control, they said, or they were 28%. Very interesting. Financial control is 9%, unlike to what we think. Very interesting study. It is in your book. Very interesting. Very interesting. Right. When can being powerful is a liability? Being powerful, does that bring liability on you? Yes. How so? By being straightforward and frank. Straightforwardness defined as being frank, sincere, candid, صريح يعني, in dealing with others. This صراحة ساعات being candid, okay, being صريح, sometimes is what? Liability to your power. In other words, we have to come to what? To become political about presenting certain things. Very interesting, critical. You have, you can say bad things in a nice way, being political. So we are going to talk about political again, leadership. Right. Very interesting. Okay. Empowerment, giving people power. This is two type of people or groups. This gives them total empowerment. Empowerment is sharing power with employees. To what extent I would like to share my power with employees? Total empowerment. Workers are free to do their jobs as they wish. Great deal. And this is worker, no empowerment. Workers do not free to make any decision about how to do their job. This is none. This is the power given to workers. If you are in the upper management, you give them more power. The lower technician, they have to go strictly by procedure, by manual, because they are technician, you don't allow them to take decision, but those are on such a high level that you can. Now, as a rule of thumb, heuristic, as a manager or director, anything can somebody or can subordinate do it for you. If you do it yourself, is what? Is waste of your time. You should make your time do something more important. Very important to key to delegate. To delegate. Okay. Charismatic leader, good leader, always delegate. But people that you delegate to, they should deserve and they should be very powerful as well, and they should be trusted. فحتى الديليجيشن has certain criteria, but centralization usually limit progress of the company. Empowerment, okay. The climate model. Empowerment defined as passing responsibility and authority to lower level employees. And they are at 3 levels. Okay. Information sharing, autonomy, accountability. You give the power within empowerment climate, and this is going to affect psychologically for people. Psychological empowerment, they feel you give them power and they feel good about it, and they work for you harder than expected. And this will result into enhanced individual performance, enhanced team performance, and enhanced job satisfaction. This is very important. Okay. These are, and the question is, do employees like being empowered? Of course, yes, they do like power. And the empowerment climate defined as the workplace atmosphere that support empowerment. I'm gonna stop right here so that we finish this session. In the second session, we are gonna take a break. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in a moment after the break for part 2 of this interesting lecture. before I forget, I'm gonna show you what I have done here. You can capture it, and what have we done here, so also you can capture it.